IREN has been conforming within this channel here, guys. Now, are we going to see a breakout here? Are we going to see a breakout as we get tight, really accumulating between the levels of 50 and 40 roughly, trying to find that energy and breakout, as we have to see a move sooner than later? Should we be expecting it to the upside or to the downside, breaking down as we are in an overall downtrend? Now, we're going to be starting this analysis on the weekly time frame. We've seen a very explosive move, guys, within the later to mid part of this year. We've seen a 300% move really from the levels, guys, of this general chopping range of around 17 to $20, right? So we were battling that spot for multiple weeks. We see around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks really accumulating until we see a more aggressive candle and break to the upside. And we kind of chop around, find all-time highs of 76.87, and that's where you see that big sell off. As buyers are very strong, the sellers are not in this game. We have around 3, 6, 9, 10 green weeks in a row going to the upside until sellers do find a movement to the downside, challenging the buyers here. As the buyers try to push it up higher, we see that big sell off. This is a textbook green to red reversal. See all that buying pressure and buying dominance, and then you flip right to the sellers. The sellers remain very strong, getting this engulfing red bar, really finding a very strong move to the downside until we go ahead and find a range where we are battling right between that $40 level and that $50 level, battling for that control, trying to find either a squeeze out of this channel or a squeeze down. So we've seen some different price action after the volatility, right? 10 volatile weeks to the upside, 3 weeks of indecision, trying to battle for that control. And then we do see around 2 weeks of a strong dump from the sellers. Now we're around 4 weeks here, guys, really building up between these levels, looking for the either potential break to the upside or the potential break to the downside, continuing in this sell-off narrative as we are only around half of the movement that we did to the upside. Now, flipping back to the daily time frame, we see a lot of accumulation right in this pocket, guys. So we've seen that very volatile move to the upside for around 10 weeks. We saw that back and forth, and then we see sellers gain that control, being very volatile for a couple of weeks, guys, bringing us down to the bottom of this channel, being around that 50 and that 39/40. And today we've seen a possible bullish sign as we see a green hammer candle. Now, the green hammer candle is signaling buying pressure, closing green, showing that the buyers were in that ultimate control for the day. As we get pushed back down from the sellers, we see a candle here with a lot of buying pressure right at that zone of 39.64, where we did make a bit of a bounce, found that 50 once more, and continued within this range. So the fact that energy's been building up for around 4 weeks now, and we're getting to the very bottom of the spot, including a very strong support of that $39 level, which doesn't only consist of price action right here, but in the past really being a good catalyst to continue this moves to the upside after a little bit of a test from the sellers over that week right here that we see. Continue that balance after finding that support a couple of times, right? Kind of double bottoming here in the shorter aspect of things, continuing that move. We have been seeing only one candle, but boom, bottom there. And now we found a bottom right here. We're definitely primed now, guys, to go ahead and get a possible short squeeze-like effect where we've seen the stock price no stranger to this very volatile move to the upside. If we continue in that narrative, doing a move like we saw right here after the buyers really picked up that steam, going to around above that $70 level, if we see another move like that, guys, we will be testing and getting past that $76 high, being the all-time high on stock price. So this is a very textbook technical analysis structure here, guys. I mean, this stock's being very reactive to this resistance and support that we've been in for a while now, and this could be setting us up, building that energy for a very explosive move to the upside after a very quick sell-off, as we find that top being tough around that $76 level / past that $70 level. No true control around that range, right? Above that 68, there is no true control. There's a lot of selling off as we get to that spot. So this could be a huge catalyst here as we build up that energy for the volatility to continue, as IREN's a very volatile stock by nature. All right, guys, I'm flipping to the hourly. What we're seeing here is an obvious downtrend in the more recent times, but what we are also seeing is price to start to get tighter and accumulate. As we go in the structure, the volatility seemingly gets less and less as we get tighter, right? Price is very choppy, lots of big swings up, big swings down, and we're finding that price is starting to get tighter as we meet up with this resistance multiple times and the support level. Although we're in a descending range, we have some pretty interesting technicals here that could insist that we are going to be going higher and find this possible breakout, right? We found that resistance on multiple hourly candles, but instead of a very harsh knife down, we stay towards that middle to top end of this range that we're in. We're looking for another retest here, guys, after getting a false breakout once here, a false breakout secondly here, looking to get that third retest with price getting tighter over time. So this could be very interesting. I mean, if the bears did gain that control and we got a rejection here, you could be seeing a bounce back, retesting this support level that held up nearly 3 times. We're looking very primed here on the hourly time frame to find the squeeze effect within the next couple of days of trading. And if we're taking a look at the overall market QQQ, we're in a pretty interesting zone. So the Fed did cut interest rates, and we did see since this Thanksgiving rally back up, price kind of hold its spot around 616 and 626. That was the range we were battling with a nice Federal Reserve day, guys, right? Kind of staying in that zone, trying to break out. We had a lot of upside, then pulled back a little bit, and then after hours the next day pulled back. But today we do see a nice green hammer candle, finding that gap down and going up from that gap down. So solid day today, really keeping us in the zone of 616 and 626. So it's definitely possible that we just see the Christmas rally start to occur after we can get a full break of this 626 resistance marker. If we can break over this for our candle, guys, I mean, we're looking really good for that all-time high retest and possibly making new all-time highs with later in this month. And this correlates with stock IREN as we're in an opportunity to get a short squeeze-like effect to the upside, guys, right? That is what we're looking at. We were in a downtrend for a bit of time right after hitting that 76 level, doing around 49 to 50% down on stock price, but we are still in half of a pullback, right? When in doubt, zoom out, guys. We've been going up for a long time, ever since really building that steam around these ranges, chopping around like we examined in the beginning of the analysis. We've done a huge move, over 300% on stock price, in which now we're seeing a smaller pullback given that initial move up. So we still are in a very nice spot here, being a half retracement, and the buyer's now getting very tight within a range, trying to look for a breakout level move, testing areas where if this is a true breakout, guys, we could easily be testing and creating new all-time highs, getting past that, as there's no real tough resistance zones. You'd be looking out for that $58 level, a past support level, that 68 being a past resistance level, and then those all-time high levels, guys. So there's tons of upside potential if we can get the full short squeeze breakout here, and things are looking interesting for IREN. Things are heating up. If you guys enjoy this analysis, make sure to hit that subscribe button and that like button. Stay up to tune for more updates just like this one. As always, guys, trade smart. I'll see you all in the next one.